taking you guys with me for a leg day. Definitely my least favorite day of the week. Does not mean that I skip them. I know the tank top and sweats probably makes it look like I'm gonna hit upper body, but I guess I'm fashionably confused. You can see some of the burn that I got yesterday. The first sun of the year. A nice little base burn. Can't see it, but my back got it worse. Plan is to hit a little of everything, but I think it's gonna be primarily glute and ham focused. Starting out with the quads though. All right, let's get to it. I challenge you to find me a better quad building exercise than the pendulum squat. It's basically just a more isolating squat. The best range of motion, easier on your back, safer to go to failure. You're talking bodybuilding, it's unbeatable. You're about to see me go to failure on this set. See, I'm gonna crawl out of here with no legs. What did I tell you? Oh my God. Now I gotta clean up my mess. Like I always preach, I'm not concerned so much about how much weight I'm putting up on this. What I'm concerned with is how much am I feeling it in my quads. If I was just focused on moving that weight, I probably could have put a few more pounds on. But I'm focused on optimizing the movement to target my quads and then pushing that weight in that range of motion as much as I can. So when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about almost sliding this platform up. Not to the point where it's a full leg extension, but a leg extension hybrid of sorts. What I'm definitely not doing is pushing like straight down, straight into that platform. I'm thinking about cranking my leg forward as I push. So I took that 10 off, I'm gonna hit one more set. The reason I'm doing calf raises second is because that's a main muscle that I wanna grow in the off season. When you're doing your workouts, you wanna make sure that whatever your main focus is, whatever muscle you want to grow the most, whatever muscle you want to get the strongest, you push it towards the front of your workout. Most of the time it's compound lifts, bench, squat, pull-ups, stuff like that. In my unfortunate case, it's calf raises. But I did do the pendulum before this because I think over calf size, I do want my legs to get wider in general. But the reason for putting that main focus in the beginning of your workout is because you want that muscle to be as not fatigued as possible when you're doing the set. Just think about it. If you do it at the end of your workout, you're fatigued and all you're doing is nerfing the output that muscle can actually do. Make that main focus the first or second exercise. Now I know that I'm probably the worst guy to listen to because I have small calves, because if I'm being honest with myself, I've neglected them over the years. Doesn't mean I don't know what I should be doing though. A lot of people will say genetics, and I can easily say that because it's easy to say, but I don't actually know because I didn't put in the work. I'm putting in that work now though, and I know that for calves specifically, you need to emphasize the stretch. So that means getting as low as physically possible when you're doing those reps. That's how you stimulate the most growth. That bottom half of the rep is way more important than the top half. So you start failing and do those half reps on the bottom. And I guess I'll be finding out in this off season if it really is genetics or if it's just work. We're doing RDLs next. I've been making a point to do more RDLs. I really want to work on those directors in the back. Watching the tape back from my last show, I had a really developed upper back, but I think I was lacking there. I had the Christmas tree too, but I need that thickness. And RDLs are fantastic for that. Another thing, again, that I've done in the past is just that it wasn't a staple of my workouts. And I think that's what led to the deficiency there. Sometimes for bodybuilding, it's good to veer away from the strictly bodybuilding exercises, like just the hammy curls and stuff like that. When you avoid a compound movement like this, then you're avoiding the erectors. So now I'm doing both. Fairly easy. You know, because I've been neglecting them too, it's not my hamstrings that usually fail first when I'm doing this, it's my back. You know, my back will just start to get weak and I'm like, I gotta stop. Believe me, hurting your back is not worth it. So I'm gonna be doing another set, but to really blow out my hamstrings, I'm gonna be doing some hamstring curls later on. Hinging at the hips is one of the healthiest movements to learn how to do. It's why I incorporate some sort of hip hinging movement into all my clients' workouts. Think about it, when you bend over to pick something up, do you wanna go like that? Or do you wanna use your whole body how it's designed? Use the hamstrings and glutes and all of that to pick something up. Or do you want to arch the back like that and then you blow your back out and you have no idea why. Hinging at the hips is also one of the hardest movements to learn. When I'm doing it, I'm thinking about squeezing my shoulder blades together and pushing my hips and butt back as far as possible the entire time that I'm going down. And I have all my weight on the heels when I'm doing it as well. So when I get to the bottom, I'm pushing the heels through the ground to kind of crank my body up at the hips. You should feel the glute and hamstrings activate when you're doing that, even with no weight. There's a lot of exercises I could show you that help you learn how to hinge at the hips properly, but that's for another video. I can't do that right now. Once I get above 225, I have to use straps. If I was just doing a rep or two, I wouldn't need them, but the set is gonna be like 40 seconds or longer. It's a long time to hold that weight. I don't want to be thinking about my forearms and grip strength when I'm trying to work on my hamstrings and back. If you want to work on your grip strength, don't do it at the cost of other muscle groups. At the end of your workout, do some bar hangs or some farmer carries, or literally just forearm workouts. Stuff like this, the cat paws. Whew, baby. Next, we got my love child, B-Stance RDLs. I genuinely love these. I think they're one of the best glute workouts if you do it right. A lot of people are gonna be like, oh, that's hamstrings too. You're working your hamstrings too. But nothing gives me quite the burn in the glute as much as this if you do it right. I give myself a little bit of a break between the two sides because it is very fatiguing. Oh my God. It takes me out, man. I'm telling you guys. Can't believe I'm showing you guys this in the middle of the gym. But when I'm doing this, I have my foot kind of curled like this. So most of the pressure is on the heels, but I got my toes kind of curled under to give it a little more of a foundation. So not like right on the tippy toes, but like flat under your toes. You know, you just got an arch in the middle of the foot. So when I'm going down, it's like this. You see that little arch? Probably like 80–70% of my weight is on my heel, but my toes are down as well. It's not just all heel. Let me put this shoe back on before I skeeve anyone out. You might have also noticed that when I'm doing it, I have one hand resting actually on my glute. I am touching that glute the entire time that I'm doing these reps, because it's reminding me that that is the muscle that I'm trying to work. And that general rule applies to almost anything that you're doing. If you're doing one side at a time, touch the muscle that you're trying to work. It's one of the most underrated tools that you could use to really feel it in the muscle that you're trying to work. It's not talked about nearly enough. Another thing when I'm doing this, I'm not just doing the hips back bending over. I'm hips back and sitting down into it a little bit. It's not a squat. It's not a lunge, it's hips back and then just sit down into it just a little bit, and that stretches the glute so much. Again, if you're touching it, you'll feel it. So do the B-Stance RDL like that, and it becomes one of the best glute exercises that you can do. I got one more set. No more back-loaded exercises for me. Just gonna do some hamstring curls and some hip abduction. Then we're calling it. I always think it's important to get this machine as tight as physically possible against your legs when you're doing this exercise. The less movement you have from the knees up to the hips, the more you're going to be able to isolate the hamstrings and use only them and no momentum to curl your legs underneath you. Think about it too, I'll even show you right now. If you have this gap here between your thighs and the pad, when I go to start that rep, all I'm doing is cutting the range of motion shorter because this top part of the movement is just cut out. So rather than having resistance during this top part, my knees just go up to the pad and then I curl it. It feels awkward because I'm exaggerating how much of a gap is here, but you get the point. The tighter it is, the more resistance you have across the entire range of motion. So really jam that thing in there, like as tight as you can. It should feel like a torture device. I've had times where I finish my set and I'm like struggling to undo the thing because it's so damn tight. But get it that tight, it'll help. All right, last exercise of the day. Another one of those exercises I've likely neglected over the years. I want to grow my legs, and that means width as well. Hip abduction and adduction. Not to say that I never did them, it was just rare. It wasn't a staple of my program. Now after seeing my legs on stage, I want to grow them. I want to get them bigger and wider. Just like with the calves, I'm doing some hip movement on every leg day. Today it's abduction, but next time it'll be adduction. I can already see the comments. People are going to be like, you're not going to get wider legs by doing hip abduction. All it's going to do is grow your glute. Relax. The main point that I'm trying to get across is that I'm trying to grow my whole leg. Previously, I was mainly just focused on quads and hamstrings and glutes. So I'm incorporating these to leave no stones unturned. The YouTube comment section specifically, I could see it coming. Leg workout complete. My legs feel like noodles and I boob sweat, so it was a good workout. Now, what wasn't smart is that I'm gonna be golfing later in a couple hours. I'm already ass at golf, so I'm sure this will make me even asser. But with that in mind, I won't be getting on the treadmill because I'm gonna get plenty of steps in later. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Don't skip legs.